Hello and welcome to Universus, one of the only media outlets streaming today that isn't asking if black mold causes transphobia. I am once again joined by Richard Plummer, who is very excited for the pre-release at the weekend, I imagine.
Yes, I am. So it should be good on Sunday. I'm assuming you can't make it down for it.
Flynn has a birthday party that ends at like 1ish, so if I came down, I'd have to leave like immediately. I'll try and sort something out with Robin, but Robin is currently in London, so I can't approve of anything until then.
That is fair. Well, it'd be good to have you down if you can. If not, don't worry. I'll see if I can bag you a promo or something if you're after one.
I definitely want these promos. The promos look absolutely amazing. Hello to all the first-time chatters. And hello to Owen and Andrew, who are tuning in as well.
But yeah, really should be good. Looking forward to actually playing with the set and seeing what it's like. Obviously, you can go through the set and have a look and look at the cards, but to me, it's always like when you get them in your hands and actually play them that you really get a real feel for how the set plays. So just looking forward to that and see how it goes. And hopefully bags you one of those sweet chromes.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've got my second case now ordered, which I need to pay for at the new local store. But bang on right. I'm very interested in how the new modded draft is going to do. I've got a script written up to actually do a video on that because it's kind of weird, but we're going to be doing a draft at our locals at some point, so I'm going to get my sealed experience. My biggest thing from the takeaway from obviously the people playing the set on TTS and proxying up is how impactful it's actually going to be in the current meta, because it's great having these big six-hander, and it's great to like what we're going to do today with the tier list to talk about how cool these are coming in. But the biggest thing I've heard people saying is, that's cool, they still die to Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, and this is it, right? It's going to be, and obviously part of this tier list thing is, I know obviously David's done one, Let's Talk EVS, I think Chris Smith, Brody one has done one. I haven't watched them sort of almost deliberately because I kind of want to shoot from my own hip here.
Yeah, I'm going in blind as well. I haven't watched David's, I haven't watched Chris's. I might go through and watch them after to see how different they are. I think Tam's going to probably have one of them soon, but he's currently going through doing all the symbols and what they bring, which is very, very cool.
Yeah, and he's obviously just getting back from Gen Con and being part of the team over there. So, so obviously a lot of this is going to be just shooting from the hip and sort of going on gut feeling. But it's a different landscape, right? With how Attune's going to work, the fact we've got all these backups in play, like how impactful are all these big attacks actually going to be? How impactful is backup actually going to be? There is a power creep here with the characters, certainly in terms of health totals. Like, that's clearly been a designed thing, right, in terms of the game itself. Like, we've seen those health totals climb up.
Well, for some characters, then you've got characters like the Beast Tyrants that the true definition of a 5-hander in health total. Connie is definitely on my list of being able to defend against Godzilla, but Connie can also just die turn 2 to Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, so can everyone else, right?
Yeah, for the tier list, we're not going to go, it's not a tier list of can they survive turn 2 against Godzilla, because that's a very short list.
It's just a case of, again, it's just part of where they fit on the tier list, because we usually approach it from a constructed perspective, right? We approach it from how do these fit into the current meta, where do we think they're going to slot, and it's just kind of a gut feeling from there rather than on an individual basis. Obviously we can talk about maybe how we feel they might fare in Spotlight, but again, that's a very different animal which is going to be hard to tell without, let's say, getting your hands on the set first.
I mean, we can reset the list to do Spotlight. It'll be a a pain, but it can be done.
We can, but again, I don't think it'll be a particularly informed list, just because we've not done Spotlight, right? Again, I've not had the cards in hand to play with, so I don't think there'll be a huge value in that.
Once you've done pre-release and once I've done the draft, if we come back and do a tier list based on how we feel, it would be very cool. And I've also got the SR, the 13 SRs lined up to do a tier list. I didn't include the Beast Titan because he's part of the characters, which, there's no point doing it twice.
Yeah. So I'm just going to look through these and, like I say, just shoot from the hip how I feel, right?
So before we jump over to that, how do you feel about the rules update we got?
It was that recent.
Well, we had Greg on last time, so we didn't really get a chance to talk about it properly. We got the...
This is, the actual full rules active from Tim Friedley, right?
Yeah, we got the confirmation of the commit symbol being on commit. We got confirmation that sacrifice and destroy are the same thing. It's just whose choice it is. We got...
Yeah, sacrifice is an easy one. It's just clarifying some stuff like that.
Backups was an interesting one. Backups allowing for on-damage effects to go off is insane.
I mean, that was always going to be the case, right? Yeah. So, they've got a weakness. And
it takes away...
I asked a couple of questions about this in the Creators channel, one of which I got completely wrong because I'm a spoon. And so, in my head, deflect, you could only use it on unblocked attack. I don't know why. I always felt like that was the rules on deflect.
Everyone did the exact same. Everyone did the exact same thing. I got in trouble for saying that when deflect was originally announced. I was basically one of the people saying, "Oh, deflect's going to be pointless." Why would? Like, oh no, you can block and then deflect. It's like, okay, but then at the same point, it's only like a half deflect, and we have got a video up on YouTube of me talking about how deflect is a great way to protect your backups, and then there's not a single deflect card in Attack on Titan. And that feels...
And also, it doesn't work, right? Because there's no block step.
No, the rules got changed. Deflect now works before damage.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was it. They changed it, so it does.
Deflect now works before damage, so basically, if you're playing against Overhaul, they give it +2, you can then deflect, and,
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I thought deflect meant it couldn't be blocked.
No,
but
you can half block, you can full blocking, you can still deflect afterwards.
Yeah, that was just me brain farting about how deflect actually works.
The big one, however, is the one you told me to drop. The one I wouldn't shut up about for about 3 days. The one I did a whole video for, and it launched when I was at my local championship, so I didn't get to promote it, and still got about 40 views, is the Bearded Titan. Gets one symbol. It only gets one symbol. It's in there. It just says it gets one symbol. That's all it gets access to.
Yes, that's fine. So here's my beef with the rules codification as it is. He doesn't have a symbol, therefore he cannot play a single attuned card.
Yes.
So he cannot play. So in Spotlight and in Draft or whatever, he is a dead character. He can't play any of the cards in the set because he doesn't have a symbol.
Yes, that was the issue. Well, he can in modified draft.
With the rules update, that still doesn't work. No. So before the rules update, it was unclear how
he could play
an Infinity character worked, right? In terms of what cards he can play. Could he just play the best of everything? But no, you still have to pick your primary symbol, and that's what you play with in terms of your deck building. But the rules as written for Tune says your character needs to have that symbol to play this card.
Yes.
He doesn't have a symbol. You can't play any of the Tune cards. The article does not explain any of that. So and there's other things, right?
The initial article said he would have all access to all attuned. And UVS and business said, the article was written using old information. And the argument point I was arguing is it feels like the Bearded Titan was designed around the old Infinity symbol, and then the Infinity symbol got changed last year, probably after the Bearded Titan had already been designed.
Yeah, again, I don't think he works as written, and
he works.
Yeah.
He's just not great. And with modded draft,
no, he can't play any of the cards in Attack on Titan,
well, you still get to choose one symbol,
and still not play those cards in Attack on Titan because he still doesn't have that symbol, which means he can't play attuned cards.
Kai, he can 100% play Infinity and attuned cards, but
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the only cards in the block he can play.
no, but if even if Infinity attuned is in addition to what you pick. So if you choose Chaos as your symbol, you can still choose attuned Chaos cards. It just gives you access to the other.
No, he doesn't have a Chaos symbol. You can't play a Chaos attuned.
But that's your main symbol, so you can still use the Chaos resource symbol. It's an attuned resource symbol. So, do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, no, I follow. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. So you still pick a. I mean, realistically, that's how he works, right? You can just play the you pick Chaos. He can play all the Chaos attuned cards. In practice, that's how he works. I understand how he works.
Yeah.
To me, that article does not clarify that in the slightest.
It was very brief and kind of like to the point. One of the things that got me is if you have all air. Well, I think there was basically something they were saying that basically you can't put a character you can't put cards in your sideboard that don't share a starting symbol with your main character. So you can't say side into Annie from Bertolt and then have a lot of fire cards.
You could.
You can't. It's one of the rules. You can't have a sideboard that isn't aligned to your starting character.
No. I believe you could do. So, for example, Annie is Chaos Life.
Chaos Life.
Right?
So if my sideboard was just a bunch of life cards,
and Bertolt is Chaos Fire.
Yeah.
So if you start as Annie and you've got life cards, you're playing on Chaos.
Yeah.
And you've got some life cards, and you want to side into Bertolt, I believe you can do that as long as you have enough other Chaos or Fire cards to bring in when you bring in Bertolt to replace the life cards.
But you can't.
So it remains.
But you can't put fire attuned cards in your sideboard because they don't share a symbol with Annie. That's the issue.
Okay, yeah, but as long as you had enough Chaos cards to sub in.
So as long as you had enough Chaos cards or Infinity cards, you can. But you can't. So it makes sideboarding a second character a lot more tricky when you're looking at attunement. And it's going to narrow down the choices quite a lot. That
feels like something they should change.
I don't know. I kind of like it. It makes your starting character a lot more impactful.
What's that?
It makes your starting character a lot more impactful.
Sure. I like the idea of having a transformational sideboard, though.
But I think we should move away. We could address this in shorter bursts because Kai's mental load is currently taxing.
No, but he's only 7 years old, so it's fine. He's not going to be able to cope with it anyway.
But yeah, if you haven't read the rules, Kai, have a quick read. I'm going to do a whole video on modified draft and how I feel about that because it's a bit weird. But what we're here to do is look at these 20-odd characters.
24, I believe, isn't it?
I'm also including the other side of the characters.
Yeah, so, not as separates, right?
I've got them separate on here, but we can group together.
Right, yeah.
And I've got the Clash characters and Challenger characters as well. Because, chatting. Rude, Mr. Motorbike. I am currently recording. How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just sort of looking on Thingamajig. UVS Ultra. Do they have any of the Challenger or
UVS Ultra
characters?
Yeah, UVS Ultra.
Oh yeah. So we've got the SE ones.
Of course, we should use the far superior Universus cards because yeah,
I'm an old man.
When I was doing the video that I was editing this morning before I flipped up the computer, I had to use UVS because as cool as Universus cards is for going over deck lists, but just a quick overview, I needed a list.
Okay, so yeah, we've got 20 in the main set, 2 in the challenger,
and two in the set,
2 in the clash decks, which are fucking weird, the clash deck ones, but sure.
We're including them because we're doing a character tier list, and I think it will make us unique if we do the clash characters, because I don't think anyone else will have also covered the clash characters. That makes sense.
I know exactly how old you are because you're the same age as my son, buddy.
It just reminds me of, whenever he's Kai, it just reminds me of the old song that used to get done at cons and stuff. It's like, if you're not 18, then you're 12.
Hang on. So I guess we start at the start. So Annie Leonhart.
Well, I guess these 5 are staying in detail for a while.
So yeah, usual tiers. Again, we're just sort of shooting from the hip here. And obviously she flips into Annie, the female Titan.
Hold on, Annie's escaped me. I did have these all named, and I had them all side, and then for some reason they
middle left
all jumped around. There they go. So we have Annie and the female Titan. Why? The female Titan. I am a fan of these two.
So we got Annie, 722, Chaos Life, Enhanced Commit. You give your non-powerful attack gains throw. Your non-power attack gains throw cannot gain powerful. Nice, just turning everything once into a throw.
And then spend more momentum, build a top card of your deck. Then, if a player has 9 or more foundations, transform Annie.
I wish that was a May. The second half of that, so you can choose. But
I think forced transformations is a good thing, especially when you're looking at Annie as a character. Then you got Annie, female Titan. After this character transforms into Annie, the female Titan, search your deck or discard for 1 backup Titan with a printed difficulty of 6 or less, and build it. That doesn't include shift attacks. It only includes backups.
There was 2, right?
At this moment, yes. Oh, I think that was 4. I don't know about 6. I think there's more for 6. Because
no, it's just isn't there just a Titan medium and a Titan small?
No, because there's also a large Titan, isn't there? They did all 3 backups.
That's the flip of a Titan large attack.
There's 3. Yeah, Kai says there's 3. I thought it was
3. Where's the third? Am I being blind?
Card search, backup. There's a card.
No, Kai's talking nonsense. There's 2. And again, unless UVS Ultras are not up to date, there's literally 2 cards with the.
Oh no, yeah, the medium Titan and the small Titan.
I'm always right, Kai. Just to set this.
I guess this is more. I guess we can use this as forward planning for next set where we're going to probably be seeing.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to get Attack on Titan, whatever the next set's name is. I can't remember whether that's been revealed or not.
It's Origins of Power that got revealed.
That's it. Yeah. So we've only got 2. And they are both not cards I want to play in my deck.
I mean, depends on your build. You have got some attacks that we saw last during the regionals on Friday when we were going over the cards with the DMS guys, which you've got like destroy a backup, gain health equal to its stamina.
Yeah,
you have got ways to utilize, and you have also got this lovely little thing of lose 1 health. You may try to block your rival's attack with a backup from your stage.
Yeah, so it's like a 1 high or a 3 mid.
Yeah, which also makes you an 8-hander on defense. And then commit 1 foundation. This attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage.
Like that's good. Like her third ability is good. But like if I'm building Annie, then I'm putting 1 of each of these backups in the deck and hoping that I check them and never have to have them in my hand, so I can just build 1 for free and choose the one I want to build. Because a Titan medium and a Titan bad, I think, are just sort of bad cards.
I am 100% running the Beast Titan, the Call of the Beast Titan in this, because I get to give it throw, I get to mill 4 cards on block, I then get to build a backup from that or a shift attack from that, and that's just great.
But you can do all that stuff. I'm just thinking about the actual backups to go with like her stuff, right? And like I haven't looked through the set completely, in terms of I don't know necessarily their kits and stuff, so I'm just kind of judging them on face value.
Yeah, I've not gone. I know the full set has dropped, but with Flint being off school and everything going on at home, I've not had a chance to actually fully go through it. I'll probably go through it.
And again, I tend to not do that until post pre-release when I start actually having cards in hand. Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I agree with Kai here. Like, I don't really want to flip her. Like, I don't want the static because that means I have to play bad cards in my deck. Blocking with a bad card, like, they're not exciting,
you say it's a bad card, but it's a 6-check backup you get to build from discard.
They're fine.
And that you get to block with constantly. I think that's pretty cool.
But, yeah, I mean, you get to block with it once, right? Then it just goes.
Well, yeah, then it goes back, then it disappears. But you have got shift attacks on. It's built with the Attack on Titan kit in mind of shift attacks and having these. Because.
Yeah, I guess you can block with shift attacks that you've built down rather than just those two. But again, I'm not utterly convinced how many of these shift attacks are actually playable competitively. I think some of them will be. Like, the one that lets you just completely replay it for attack, like the Attack Titan attacks, I think is going to be good, right?
Yes. Attack Titan attacks is just making Godzilla a 700.
But yeah, I'm not convinced on Annie. I think being able to give something a throw once per turn is fine, but like that's just sort of what Cammy does. Spending momentum to build is solid, but then I never want to transform into Annie.
I mean, there's a lot of ways of cheating momentum, especially in the current set. For me,
there is, but you could just do that on Godzilla or whatever. Like, I think she's probably a C, maybe even a D. Like,
for me,
honestly, I think
the Armored Titan attacks is what pushes her to B tier. Yes, it's a 4 mid block, but it has the response of when you block with it, you build it down. So for
you can't block with the backups because they've got no block zone and totally not no damage. Completely correct.
So the rules, the rules that were updated says when a backup leaves its zone, when a shifted card leaves its zone, it reverts back to its form.
Yes, I don't know how that interaction works then in terms of
that's the thing.
Can you block with it? Because knowing that it's going to flip into the one mid block.
That is what the FAQ needs to be. If we find out she can just lose 1 health and play a +4 mid block every single attack, that is a B tier character off the gate. That is fine.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
With the amount of speed
mid block isn't exciting. Like, you can just
speed reduction, that being an 8-hander with an infinite block loop, that with the amount of speed reduction and check hacks that Chaos has. Yeah, that's definitely
characters that do that aren't. Again, I think she can do a thing, but I don't think it's a good thing.
If she can't use the Armored Titan blocks, then yes, she just.
But again, it's just still like a 4 mid, right? And you've got no sort of other defense on attacks. It's fine. It's not good. I think she's probably a D. Honestly, I'm just not enthused by her at all.
I'm going to take your first answer point in C, but I honestly think she will definitely hit B.
She's going to get better as more backups enter the card pool.
And I can guarantee Chris will probably put her highly because he was waiting for Annie. I think we were all waiting for Annie.
Annie, you are not okay.
She's fine. She's very playable.
Nah.
You have no faith.
I don't, because I think a Titan medium and Titan small are bad cards, and I don't want to.
Yeah, but you also thought Midnight You was a bad card. We went to Vegas, and both of the designers we talked to said you were wrong.
Where's her results? Where's the result?
No. Well, there's not much that a 2/3 is going to do in the current meta, but she will have her day.
Red card.
She will have her day.
Anyway,
that's fair, Karen. Annie is playable. Female Titan, not so much.
Yeah, Annie is fine, but like, you could just play Cammy, right? For that throw thing, effectively, and like the spending momentum build is nice, but yeah, I just.
And then we have Kirishima 4, aka Armin Arlert. So in Survey Corps is 6-handed with 29 health. If there is an attack in your card pool, look at the top card of your deck. Once per turn, add a foundation from your stage to your hand. Build the top card of your deck.
I think he's really solid. He's not exciting, but looking at the top card of your deck is cheating. It's against the rules. You're not allowed to confirm your checks like that. He does.
Yep, and he also has life, which means he gets access to Fall and Kill Strike, which is a great card for unflipping.
Yeah.
Has access to Order, which lets you stack cards on top of your deck, which lets you manipulate the top of your deck a little bit more.
Yeah, and so you know when you want to draw something, there's an attack on top, I need to use my draw ability. Oh, there's a foundation on top, I don't need to pop my draw card ability. I think Armin's obviously he doesn't do stats, right? But look at the top card of your deck whenever you do an attack, and that does include blocking, right? I block once with an attack. I can now see what I'm checking on.
So the moment you block, you basically get to go. I get to see every single card on the top of my deck and go. Yeah, I get to check if I can pass this next check.
He doesn't do stats. And crazy though it sounds, 29 health is a little understated in the current meta.
Do characters need to have stats on their face given the size of the attacks that are now coming?
Not necessarily.
Does an 11-8 need
he probably
more stats?
works quite well with him, right? He knows, okay, I play my first attack, I can see I've got a 6 on top. Okay, I can play my 8 diff. Probably one of the better ones to do that sort of thing.
So for those who are just tuning in or have never seen something like this before, we are doing a character tier list. So for the next set of universes, which is Attack on Titan Battle for Humanity, we have a bunch of new characters coming in, which are quite unlike any we've seen before, really. Well, at least in the Universes era. And we're just going to take our bad player perceptions and put them on the cards and ultimately be proven wrong.
Yeah. So welcome to the channel Ozuminato. This is the Universes card game. So it's like a fighting style card game. As Brett says, Attack on Titan's next set coming out this weekend, and we're just rating the characters as we sort of feel, just sort of shooting from the hip. I'm going to say B.
That's fair.
On Armin.
Yeah, I don't. He's better
because
than,
I'm not
he's better
sure.
than Kirishima 3, but he definitely earns an honorary Kirishima title.
Just picking up and being able to build on both attack and defense, it helps you string a little bit. Obviously, once you've got your first one going, you can start to effectively harden jab the attacks you build down back into your hand, right?
Yeah.
You can pick up blocks on your opponent's turn that you need to.
That's the big thing. My main issue is building face down into a ruin meta. Just not being able to actually do anything with it. But
I think Armin's going to be quite a defensive character.
Yeah. My biggest thing is the fact that you can just cycle things like new training method early and keep building.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Armin's one I'm not sure of. Hence why I'm kind of sitting on the fence on a B. This guy could be a C, and his stuff is really cool, but actually doesn't really do a lot.
Then we have
he could be a lot better.
Then we have the bane of my existence for the majority of July, the Bearded Titan. When this worked with a tune, easy ARS. Having access to essentially 300 cards was insane. But the fact that you get a blank card, you choose a symbol, and you get to play 60 cards minimum of that symbol, pretty much puts you in D. Why would I play you over any other character?
It's a D. It's a limited card.
It's not even a limited card. It's not even a limited card.
It is. It just means you can, it's there for limited, so you could sort of pick your symbol, right?
But you don't need to. In modified draft, you're not locked by symbol anymore.
If you're doing that, if you're not playing modified draft.
If you're not playing modified draft, you're going to have a bad time in Attack on Titan. It's part of my script. look forward to that in the next couple of weeks once I've recorded and edited it. But I'm going to go into a deep dive on modified draft and why anyone drafting Attack on Titan needs to use modified draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of health, but.
Oh, 100% Cohen. It could definitely go below D into F, but I didn't put the F tit on here. Now, I think this is where we're going to have our biggest argument. The Beast Titan. The card that got a lot of controversy when we revealed it. It's basically it's a pointless card. Why has it got less health than the Six-Handers? It's a card that I've seen a lot of people loving or hating. But it's our SR character, and it's an SR for a reason. I think this goes to A or S.
It's definitely not S.
I think it can definitely sit in the A.
Maybe. My issue with it is that, sure, you get to do cute things with whether that's like Colossus Titan attacks or like maybe female Titan or Jaw Titan.
It's all about the attack Titan attacks.
Yeah, or well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But A, you need to draw it, and B, you need to be able to resolve that card as a 5-hander.
So if I'm only running...
And actually build enough to do it, right?
So if I'm only running shift attacks because I want to draw, backups because I want to draw, and my Titan and Foundations, chances I'm not checking below a 4. Easy as. Backups roll 6s.
Like Beast Titan, again, I don't think a Titan medium or a Titan small will see a single bit of competitive play. That's calling my shot there. I just think they're not good cards. Anywho's, if anyone is going to play my lowest check is a 4, I'm just playing a lot of these haymakers, defense, ways of making these haymakers connect. Beast Titan is probably one that gets to do it. I don't know whether that is a good thing or not. Like, whether that is a good strategy or not, and that's sort of what he does, right? I don't think he does anything else.
I would happily play a small or medium Titan because it has draw a card attached to it. And when
yes,
it dies,
a bad card just to draw another card. I could just play a card.
But it gives me, as a 5-hander, I get to cheat out. This is the most fake 5-hander we've seen for a while. If I can get my attack Titan, if I can play 3 foundations, I get 3-4 foundations. If I can resolve the attack Titan attacks, I am now set to draw 3 or 4 cards a turn. That is insane.
Yep.
And I only see one.
It's an 8 diff. I think people are underestimating how big an 8 diff
is. It's an 8 diff the first time you play it, and then it's a 5 diff after that.
Sure. But then you've got to make sure you don't die when you check a 3 or a 4 on your 8 diff, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking the Godzilla meta here. How many? If we're looking at Spotlight Sealed, if we're talking about standard building, outside of Godzilla and maybe Mount Lady, how many characters are doing 33 damage on turn 2?
Plenty. There's plenty of characters can do 33. 33 isn't huge amounts. So, like, he's on death, and I think City Rampage is on death, right?
If we go off the City Rampage is not on death. Earth, Water, and Chaos.
Okay.
If we go off where the game is designed to go, where the deciding turns are now turn 5 rather than turn 3, I think the Beast Titan can have enough time to set up to ditch the 5-hander status and be a 8-9-hander quite easily.
He can, but it's whether that juice is worth the squeeze, and it's not just better to do another thing rather than trying to force 8 diffs. And that's my concern, is that, sure, looping the 8 diff is a good thing, right? Like, it's a powerful card, it does the thing. It is only 5 speed, but, you're still playing an 8 diff. Like, even if you check a 6, you're still committing 2 on an attack the first time you play it. And sure, you then get to play it again as a minus whatever. It's fine. but then someone maybe killed your backup, and backups obviously have a lot of like issues and weaknesses in terms of like on hit effects.
I mean, if they're killing my backup, if they're attacking my attack Titan, I'm down for that. You know why? Because they're not attacking me, and I get to draw a card. That is golden. And if I get to play the Beast Titans you are, knowing that's in my discard, and if they have to fully block that attack. Because if I mill another attack Titan, they just die again. He has so much utility, he has so much sneaky value that I think this, when someone breaks him, similar to Elder to Go with Travis, when someone puts the time in to actually learn the Beast Titan's true playstyle and puts like the 300 reps in like Travis did, the Beast Titan will take games from people because they will not be prepared for it.
So I mean, he's going to do the thing. It's whether the thing is actually good, and I'm not sold. But I also could be like, I don't know, which is why my gut says he's probably a B. Like, he's got a very single-minded game plan, and not convinced that game plan is necessarily good in the current meta. And it may just get, it might be one of those things that as more Titans and stuff and backups get printed, it becomes a lot better. Like maybe there's more actual just straight backup cards that are more enticing. Because like I said, I don't want to play either of those other cards. I don't think they're playable.
He can only get stronger, same with Annie. But I think with the cards that we've seen revealed, I think he is definitely a very strong character that has been slept on. He is not a true five-hander at all. And I do love the fact he says a Titan backup specifically means that that kind of soft confirms we're going to see other kinds of backup in the future.
Yeah. It's a new card type, right? They're not just necessarily bringing it in for this. So,
I would happily slam this in A, but if you want to move it around, you can move it around.
I think it's, again, like we said at the beginning, it's more that it's hard to know without playing with these cards.
Yeah, and it's also hard to know because we're in the Godzilla meta and the Super String Elder to Go meta where these characters can just die. But and it's just my gut says someone whose plan A is playing an 8 diff ain't where I want to be. So that's why I want to put him in a B. Like if he had if his thing was playing these Titan cards and they were like more like 5, 6, and 7s, like maybe. But like if your plan A is playing an 8 diff, I'm not sure that's where I want to be. Maybe it's like we'll see in Origins of Power, but I'd
probably put him at the top of B. I think he has a lot of potential to be an S or a D. Like he could be either the top.
I'm not putting these in any particular order because I'm manually moving them. So if it's just B tier, it's B tier. Then we have
Beast Titan could be S. He could be D.
Yeah,
and so that's why I'm kind of very different from B. I said he could be an S. He could be a D, and that's why I'm splitting difference.
Yeah, exactly. Same with the Bearded Titan. He could be S, could be D. Depends on if they bring back, say he can do the tune again.
He won't be able to. Bearded Titan just trash. So Bertolt.
Yes, Bertolt Hoover.
So Bertolt got a lot of hype when he got revealed, right?
Yeah, because of one very important thing. He can kill.
That's the case, I think, with all the burn in this set, right?
Yeah.
They've certainly moved to a position where burn can kill, which I think we were having this discussion the other day with Greg and how dangerous that is. But just that top thing of if you completely block me, it goes to my momentum.
If you half block me, it goes to momentum. If you don't block me, it goes to momentum.
It's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you block me, then I just don't play on progressive. If you half block me, then you're taking damage and I'm happy and I can just do what I want.
And because he's on Chaos, and also because he's on Fire, you get access to things like Blue Flame Palm Strike, which gives you more momentum. You get access to Kraken, which gives it effects momentum, Black Abyss. You get Blue Flame Torment. You get Earth Beast Golem. You get Armor of the Wolf. You get all these cards that love momentum. In Fire, you get access to Howard's Impact Cycle, which lets you draw for your momentum for the cost of 1 foundation.
Yeah, this guy's got plenty going on. Like, he's a 635, so he's chunky to begin with. Like, his form is fine.
He just rinses 7-handers. 7-handers do not get to play against him.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to block and accept he doesn't come progressive, right? And
but
hope
if you
they've
chuck
got
in a bunch
block.
of throws and go, completely block my throw and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say non-throw, right?
Yep.
So, and then like the Colossus Titan obviously has the Ruin X and Burn X, which can just kill. Again,
the biggest thing is you need to keep him essentially off. Keep yourself and him off 9 foundations, because you've got the form, discard a card, draw a card, flip, and then when it flips, your opponent has to flip X and ruin X, and burn for X or lose X, which X equals your momentum.
Yeah, and then like the enhanced stun 1 and +3 damage, so it's effectively +1 speed for the rest of the turn.
Yep.
And +1 speed, +1 speed for all your attacks for the rest of the turn, and +3 damage. And once per turn, flip becomes a sacrifice for your opponent. I think he's good. I think he might have been a little bit overrated in terms of reaction to him. I think people are almost reading this character as if he gets everything, and you sort of have to pick your poison, right? And like the top ability is very good, but you're not getting stats. And then if you flip, you get the stats, you get that burn, but you're then not getting. You have to actually play on progressive again, right? I'm not playing a progressive is fine, but you're not getting any stats or anything to do stuff.
So you're either not playing on progressive and get momentum to get them lower, or you're giving all of your attacks +1, +3, and you're going for the kill. If you turn into the Colossal Titan, your goal is to kill them that turn.
Yes. Or you get enough, or they've got enough base downs that you can blow up 5 foundations, burn them for 5, and then I've got a hand of attacks, right? So you probably do want to kill that turn, but not necessarily. He's at least an A.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I want to put him in S or not.
I'd put him in S mainly because he is possibly the most hyped and most playable one of the most playable characters there is.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly one of the ones with definitely potential to be obnoxious.
100%. If we're looking at the standard build that he can create, the fact that he has chaos and has access to all of that chaos support is enough to put him into S. You've got Armor of the Wolf, you've got Armor of the Phoenix, you've got it's Armor Takedown, the one that if it's not blocked, you get to add a card to momentum. So basically, if it deals damage, you get to add 1 to momentum. You go completely block it, I get momentum. Don't block it. If it deals damage, I get momentum.
Yeah. But again, no defense, no stats. It just doesn't. He just basically doesn't play on progressive. So yeah.
Yeah, Searing Glacial Storm is definitely going to be floating on a lot. I expect Decay Awakening to get played a lot more. I feel like we're going to have that. Me and Rich are going to have another argument in a second, which is going to be covering the Big Mouth Titan. So Big Mouth Titan is a 6-hand 31. Enhance your turn. Your attack gets +2 damage. If you've not added any cards to your momentum this turn, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Form once per turn. Add a card from your momentum to your hand.
After discarding a card, right? He's good.
Yeah, after you discard a card, yeah.
The fact that his discard to add a card to your hand is a form rather than enhance is actually really big.
Yeah.
Because it means you basically always draw an attack, right? Because you always get those hands where it's like, I've got 3 or 4 things that draw me a card or do a thing, and I just need an enhanced step, so I just need an attack. and you draw 6 greys, and you're like, shit. Well, he always has an attack. As long as he has that momentum, which he generally always will, he's going to have an enhanced step.
I think a lot more people are looking at the action abuse side of him. So you get to play an action like Manifest or City Rampage or Chomp and all these other cards, and then you play Flame Flicker and you add it to your momentum. And then you pick it back up, and you get to do it again.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways you can abuse momentum with them. I think making this a form and not enhanced basically protects you from the outside of making this a lot more toxic defensively.
Yes, so you can't just pick up blocks.
Yeah, and you can't add the top card of your deck to your momentum in your opponent's turn.
So again, he is blank on your opponent's turn, but he is an aggressive character. Like, he's Chaos Fire, is what you'd expect. He's putting +2 damage and everything. He's good, right? Not quite Godzilla, but he is good. I don't see this guy beating out Godzilla. I mean, he draws the cards. And generates momentum, doesn't really spend it, doesn't have that kind of get out of jail free card.
We'll see. Apple say we've put Ymir in A tier, but we'll see. I think this is a solid B tier character.
Yes, yeah, that's my gut feeling. He's fine, but not crazy.
I'm gonna refer. Unless they're shift Titans, I'm going to refer to Titans as they because they are genderless.
Mm-hmm.
Just from my own.
That is totally fine.
Then we have my boy, the character I'm very hyped for. I made an entire video talking about how cool I think this character is. We have Connie, the sleeper of the set. 6-hand, 32, response, Shinzo, eat your heart out. At the start of your turn, name an attack zone. Attacks of that zone get -2 speed. And then response, commit 1 foundation. After your attack with a printed difficulty 3 or less, deals damage, draw 2 cards. The amount of people that read that as 3 damage, including me, is insane. People still do it because it says 3 or less damage in a sentence.
Yeah, it's not Storm of Blades.
No.
So I guess this is where we talk about the 3 difficulty or less sort of tribal in this set, right? There's a lot going on with that, and certainly has the potential to be a little toxic. When you can just play so far into a string because you're playing on such low difficulties, as long as you're loading stats onto it through other means, whether that's like, generally your foundation base.
There's a lot of 2 and 3 diff attacks in this set, on top of Save a Million, the Jin Windbreaker. I think.
Yeah, there's just a lot in this set that works around that kind of 3 diff tribal.
I think Twice also has a card on air that can work with Measured Violence.
Mm-hmm. Like, the guessing the attack zone is sort of, it's sort of a little bit Deku 1, right? You're just trying to guess. Obviously, it's going to ruin focus attack text.
True.
But, like, guessing is quite difficult. I mean, you obviously got the opportunity for sort of mind games there, as in you guess the zone you've got no blocks of, so your opponent hopefully doesn't play those ones.
No. So this is clear that Richard has not seen my video about Connie. You only need 1 asset to turn Connie on, and it's not even a unique asset. You just need the vertical maneuver equipment, because all these 3 difficulty attacks that are 2-3 damage, how many of them are you actually going to block? I know that if they deal damage, you get to draw 2 cards for the cost of 1 foundation. But how often are you actually bothered about these attacks, and how deep can Connie actually string
Well, this is the thing: is it's like you can't build this deck off playing these 3 diffs and not put in position where they do matter and your opponent does want to block them, right? Or else, what are you doing?
As long as I can get vertical maneuver equipment, I can build this deck with a complete 60 mid block and still win games.
Yeah. I just sort of read the card. That's fine.
So we got someone in chat saying
that there's other ways of changing zones, right? There's
So we've got someone in chat saying that they're going to barely block any because they were damage reduction. That's fair. That's why I forgot its name now. The one that gives you +2 damage if it's below printed.
What's that?
The Moonfish one. It gives you +2 speed or +2 damage if it's below its printed.
Oh, Weber Blades.
Yeah, Weber Blades. So that's why Weber Blades exists for the. So as long as Connie can consistently get momentum, which is what the 3 diffs will do, you basically, as Andrew said, it's death by 1,000 cuts, but vertical maneuver equipment lets you spend the momentum, change the zone of the attack, and then it gets minus or +3 speed. So with Connie, that's -5 speed if it isn't already on the zone.
Yeah, like that's fine. Like, there's obviously ways of building it, but you just need a way of killing them. Before you play your 15th attack, right? Because that's just not a realistic way to kill someone.
I mean, the amount of deadlock on these symbols, I would happily sit there and just play a 1-game round. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Connie and Sealed in any way, shape, or form, but I would definitely build a standard.
You can. Again, you just need your foundation base to support what Connie is doing in terms of putting stats on these 3 diffs and making them relevant.
Yeah, but
if you're not doing that, I don't think the strategy works. You have to make them relevant.
But in draft, I want to hit hard. There are some very good 3 and 2 diff attacks.
You just need to put stats on them from your foundation.
And on the symbols, you have got a lot of foundations that ready up when they're committed for cost. I think Connie's a sleeper. I think Connie's very, very powerful, and people are going to underestimate them because they're just running 3 diff attacks.
Yeah, like my gut says. Again, it's sort of that B to A range, I think. Because I do think there's something there with that sort of 3 diff tribal. I just don't know, right? Because again, it's a reasonably new thing. We haven't had quite this many 3, and there's plenty of 2s as well, right?
I would put Connie in A because of Weber Blades and Blade Tooth.
Again, maybe Blade Tooth. I don't know. Is Blade Tooth different on symbol?
Blade Tooth should be on air. Yeah, Blade Tooth should be air. So you just build Connie on air. You get access to all these low diff, low damage attacks that basically, if they try to damage reduction, they get +2. As long as they're below 3, they get an additional 1. And as people in chat are saying, it's death by 1,000 cuts, but it is a very annoying deck to deal with because as long as he's cutting, you get to draw more cards. And
you get to play Wind Barrier, so you get to break a 1 and then another -2 speed.
Exactly. You get all the air support, which is absolutely crazy. You get a lot of the air defense as well. I think,
like I believe there is something there. I just don't know how good it is, but I think there is a thing there. But it's whether it's like the A or B. But I'm happy to go with A.
Yeah, that's more than fair. So now we have the main set versions of Eren Yeager and the Attack Titan, which look very, very cool. But I am more hyped for my Gen Con ones to arrive, which have got the inverted colours and have the Fire Eren.
Okay, so
I'm a Jammy Gates, and I have friends who go to Gen Con.
So Eren, $6 for Fire Death. Mill 2 gets +2 damage for each attack. Then if a player has none or more foundations transform. Enhance once per turn. If the attack is not blocked, draw a flip foundation. That's not a good character. Like, You're getting what, 2/3 of 2 damage? Like,
I mean, it does have fire symbols, which means you get access to the mill matters endeavor cards.
sure, but you're just sort of mill-2ing for no effect, and if your attack has not blocked you while Flips Foundation, that's a fit. You know, it's annoying, but not particularly impactful, right? So just on face, Eren Yeager is not a character I remotely want to play. So let's bet. So Eren Attack Titan better be boss.
I'd play plus Ultra Prominence Burn in Eren Yeager every day. He commits down from on face. If you don't block, we get to flip, and if I've cycled, then it gets absolutely nuts. But then we flip over to the Attack Titan, who is exact same stats, but after it's flipped, you add an attack from your discard pile to your hand. Remove 2 cards from your discard pile. This attack is plus 4 damage. After you sacrifice the foundation during your attack, ruin 1. So you're going 1 for 1 with your opponent.
Okay. Please do explain how this is remotely better than Endeavor 3. I can't see a world where...
You don't need to cycle?
You don't need to, but also you don't need to on Endeavor 3.
It shares symbols with...
obviously,
it shares
Endeavor 3 doesn't have death.
It shares symbols with combined firepower?
Which you only get to do when you flip, so I wouldn't play combined firepower.
But you get to mill them with Eren Yeager. Once you get to 9, you then get to flip, and then you get to use it on all your attacks.
Yep. But until then, it's basically a blank card.
It's not really a blank card. You're going to be running a decent amount of attacks.
Yeah, I don't. Unless you've got other ways of. I don't think combined firepower you play just because of the enhance on Attack Titan. You need other ways of triggering it. And if you do, then combined firepower might be a reasonable card to play. But like Erwin Yeager is virtually blank, right? The enhanced once per turn if it's not blocked or foundation. Annoying, not hugely impactful. Mill 2 to maybe get plus 2 damage is fine. Again, not particularly exciting. Not great. Like sometimes you're just going to whiff and Eren does nothing. And then removing 2 cards for plus 4 damage, sure. That's fine. Adding an attack from discard pile to your hand, that's a good as a one shot, but like Endeavor 3 just gets to do the same thing. Again, Endeavor 3 is yes a bit more locked on that. Endeavor 3 is a bit more locked on the attack because it has to come from removed. And then
I'll let you run for a second. I'm just going to go sort some out.
Yeah, that's fine, buddy. So yeah, obviously Brett's got some child aggro. So yeah, and response after you sack a foundation ruin 1 is fine, but you obviously then need to be loading up on sacrifice things to trigger that, and like you might. Like, yeah, I don't see a world where you'd ever want to play this guy over Endeavor 3 on fire. On death, obviously you can't play Endeavor 3, but also there's a bajillion other characters probably on death. I don't like Eren Yeager here. I don't think he's unplayable. I think he's just C tier in that. He's fine, but it's not very good. Which is unfortunate given he's like the protagonist, right? The main protagonist of Attack on Titan. I've never seen it. I don't know, but I assume he is. But yeah, I think he's just C. He's fine, but he's pretty bad. I don't see a world where I ever actually want to play Eren, which is unfortunate as an ultra rare. But yeah, I think Eren just goes into C. I don't think he's very good.
I'll put him in C, but I definitely think Eren is a lot more playable than what you're giving him credit for. I was speaking to Ty from Ty's House of Cards, and he puts Eren in among his top 6 playable characters from the set.
He's bugging. Erwin.
Yeah, Erwin.
So he's 23 Death Order. So he's got static. After sacrifice one more foundations to attack deals damage, add 1 wall counter to this card. We start seeing our wall counters characters. And then enhance sacrifice foundation. This attack gets +2 or -2 speed. Enhance smoothly wall counters. Build a type card your deck face down. Pretty solid.
Hold on. Can we just go off by addressing him by his full name, please?
Okay, Erwin Smith, 13th Commander of the Survey Corps. Very, very grey.
I'm feeling a lot of 8% vibes from this character. I think wall counters have got enough support to make him very viable. His health total is very decent for a 7-hander.
Yeah, there's wall counter support rate. Removing 3 to build the top card is decent. And just having a deadlock out on face, which I think is important, given there's a lot of we want to push to the moon to get our flip on, whatever, for our Titans.
Having a way to get rid of my face downs before you ruin them is fine by me.
Yeah, exactly. And being able to use it on both offense and defense, I think that's a really solid ability. Just being able to, on an attack turn, pitch all my committed foundations +2 speed, or on defense, I've got release, right? That's effectively what he's got. He's got release on face.
My biggest issue is the fact you're removing 3 wall counters to build one face down into a new ability that you should destroy face downs, and
it's still a resource. You can't just be scared of face downs because Ruin exists.
I can when Reiner exists. You do not realize how traumatized I am by Reiner. Before regionals, all I played against was Reiner because all people wanted to play in the main Discord was Reiner. I didn't get any standard practice. I just played against Reiner and a couple of Rodans.
Okay. I mean, obviously we haven't got to him yet, but I think it's fine.
There's no discussion. He's getting slammed in S. He's a mistake.
But I think he's solid.
Yeah, I think he's a solid B.
Yeah. I don't think he's exciting, but having, again, release on face is good, right?
Yeah.
And Saka Foundation for +2 speed is a good rate, again, to have on face. But he's not exciting, but I think he's pretty solid.
And the fact that you can just keep generating wall counters and allowing you to keep building.
Yeah, I'm sure there's obviously other things to do with wall counters. So, there's obviously going to be some sort of synergies there. So I think B.
I am very interested to hear what you think about Mimic 2.
Yeah, so she just doesn't. So you just got static. So you get a Titan backup card, a printed difficulty 4, and build it. So that is just.
That's the only 2 at the minute, but this is more like soft confirmation there's more coming. You get to commit
D.
What's a D?
Yeah, those cards are bad, and I don't want to play them. She's a D. You're making me play with these cards.
I'm sorry, but starting with a foundation in place seems very powerful.
But when that foundation is bad, that can be killed and turn on my opponent's on-hit abilities on turn 2 quite easily. My opponent, I got this backup call. My opponent plays their tasty riff and it knows it hits. Just a weakness. It's a D.
I hope that Kyle has his foundationless Hanes.
Obviously they can't be attacked. So the one she gets to play can't be attacked. But again, it's just a limited use thing.
Any of the fours. Yeah. We picked up on it, Karen. But and she'll get more powerful next set. I'm hoping that Kyle Rock has a foundationless version of her ready to go Nat, and I hope you get paired into him after putting her in D.
I mean, you can't, right? You just can't.
If you have enough of them in, say, the next set, you're just going to be running 6 checks and 4 checks. You could 100% run all these.
No, because you only get to play one. I don't think they're good enough. Just for context for those watching, if you look at a Titan medium, it's got 7 stamina. It's a 4 diff, 1 high block. Commit, loses stamina. This attack gets +2 damage. If they've got 10 or more foundations, it gets +2 speed. It's fine. I don't particularly want to put that card on my deck. as a 4 diff. A Titan Small, after you block with it, build it into combat phase. It's got a 3 med block, so you don't really want to block with it. Commit, lose 1 stamina. This attack gets +1 and -1 speed. Not an exciting card. Like, they're not the worst cards in the world, but they're not cards I want to put in my deck. She makes me have to put those cards in my deck. She goes into D.
That's what we got.
Like, is my beef with like the sort of the other one that works with it and builds on when they flip?
I think that she's very cute. She's got a very cool gimmick, and she can only get better. Same as Annie.
Yeah. Again, the more backups come in, the more options there are, the better that card is going to be. I think painting her as Mimic for backups is wrong, because I don't think the backups are good enough to go full Mimic on it, and I think there's not the payoff for doing so that Mimic had. Like Mimics, yes. If I check one and I pick up an attack, was hugely powerful.
Yeah, that's right.
So there isn't quite as much of a payoff for her. But yeah, I don't think she's very good right now. I think she can only get better.
If anyone has got the link to like the Ditst website, just so Ozzy Minotto can have a look at the interactive demo, I would usually get it, but all my screens are currently filled with tiny windows.
Yes.
Then we've got Haynes. After a block is played, add 1 wall counter to this card. Your attack gets +1 damage for every 2 wall counters on this card, maximum of 7, and enhance, commit, return this attack to its printed speed. So this is Minato 1, the best part of Minato 1 for me, with a lot of damage pump for blocking well. It's a very cool card for the character being, to put it bluntly, a cowardly character who basically...
Yeah. So, like, the longer the game goes on, like, he gets to start to put just 4, 5, 6, 7 damage on stuff for free, right?
Yeah.
So he needs to get to 14 wall counters. But after a block is played, add 1 wall counter. That obviously counts both players. So when he blocks and when his opponent blocks, you get wall counters.
You get the cool mimic things, yeah.
And obviously he gets to return the attack to printed speed. So...
But he gets turn 1 attack to printed speed because...
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a commit, and that's fine. And obviously, still gets his static. So, again, can work on offense, can work on defense.
I mean...
It's just numbers, right? He's not doing anything exciting. He's just messing with numbers.
After 6 blocks, Azur's online. I'm happy with that. I can sit there for a couple of turns.
Yeah. But again, it doesn't say non-throw, so you might just play a block and throw deck, so eventually his throws just get bigger and bigger.
You can you got order, so you can just throw out a lot of the Endeavor kit, you can throw out a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Does what have any benefit, Ozzy? He's a solid common. If I saw this in my sealed pool, I would happily consider it as a card to play in sealed or draft.
Again, and also part of it comes down to wall synergies, right? So he's adding wall counters. So if there's good wall synergies, then it becomes a little bit better. He's probably top of C, bottom of B type area.
I put him bottom of B. I think he's earned that from what I remember of the show.
Yeah, and again, there's going to be wall counter synergy, so he gets to do stuff.
Well, he only gets to do stuff when they're on his face. There's a lot of wall counters that put him on the foundation and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what the wall counter cards do, whether they work with stuff on his face or on stage or whatever. Or there's cards that put wall counters onto his face. I've not really looked, but there's going to be stuff going on there.
Then we get Jean Kirstein.
Jean Kirstein.
6-hander 33 response once per turn. After you clear 1 or more cards from your card pool during the combat phase, add 1 of them to your momentum. Enhance, spend momentum. You may change the zone of this attack. It gets +3 or -3 speed.
Okay.
My issue is he doesn't clear on face.
No, that's my beef. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going, is that he's got an ability that is blank unless you've got cards to turn it on. Now, spending a momentum to change the zone, give it -3 speed or +3 is good, but you need to actually generate the momentum first.
Yeah.
Like, it just gives everything EX3 once. That's fine, and changing the zone can be good. But the fact
he plays Phantom Threat very well, but that doesn't count as clear. Clear is only from card pool to discard. And
Phantom Threat clears itself 2 momentum, so it does nothing with Phantom Threat.
Yeah, well, no, but you can spend 1 momentum, change its zone, then Phantom Threat gets to go to your momentum.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
So it plays it very well. So what we're doing here, Ozzy, is kind of more for established and intermediate players. We're just talking about characters that are coming next week.
And where we think they fit into the meta game currently.
After you learn the game, basically, as a starting new player, the B and C tier characters are probably where you should start. But basically, the best way to start is find a character that you have fun, that you think is cool, and build that character, because the more fun you're having, the better you can have. Yeah, if you can generate momentum, seeing Phantom Threat early is amazing here. It's more finding a way to clear. How many cards are there that let you clear on these symbols?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be stuff in his kit, right?
Yeah.
That does that.
Well, he doesn't have a kit. Air has a kit that allows you to clear and ignore progressive and stuff like that, which is very, very cool. But
yeah, this guy's very, very kit dependent. But yeah, he doesn't say attack, right? So, for example, you play maximum hardening. I can't remember one symbol, whatever, the +2 to all of my 4 +2, and then you kick it with forcing surrender. He gets back to his momentum, right?
So, but then I've wasted a very powerful clear for defense, getting 1 momentum for +3 speed. Unless I'm killing.
Well, you don't need to spend that momentum immediately, right? It's just like, it's like a passive thing of, okay, I was doing the maximum hardening, forcing surrender thing anyway, but now I get a free momentum out of the deal as well, right?
But the same thing, I can do that on. You can do that with the chaos symbol anyway with Flame Flicker. There are already ways to do it. There's already ways to cheat out momentum.
Yeah.
Clear is such a specific way to do it. Thank you, Richard, for linking that. I'll just.
So yeah, Ozzy, check that link. And he gets once per turn on defense, because there are several cards that clear, like there's foundations.
Yeah.
That clear when you play them, right? As soon as you play them.
It doesn't count if you fail a block, because that card never entered your card pool, so it isn't.
No, that doesn't count.
Which is a real shame. But yeah, there's a lot of Air cards, because I think that's part of Air's new identity, is clearing cards. So
I think it always was.
But for me, the fact that he doesn't have a clear ability on face is just a massive.
Yeah, he's basically kit locked, right? He's kit locked to the stuff that does the stuff. There's a whole bunch of foundations that says, as a response, you may clear this to do a thing, which means that then he can trigger himself. You're forced to play those cards.
To put it in the way that the design team have said about other things, I don't like characters that limit my creative process when deck building. I don't like characters that go, you need to include cards that say clear, because I need those.
He doesn't solve his own problem. I don't think he's bad. Like those abilities are powerful if you can do them. So, I mean, I'd say C is my gut for Gene.
I'd say C's, as much as might get some flack from some of the Sheffield guys, I think C's a great position for him to be in. He does get Jin's kit as well, but Jin does have an enhance that lets you clear a card that you use for blocks, so you do again get that to momentum. It's a fair shout, and you can utilize some very cool stuff doing that. But personally, I just don't like the fact he doesn't have the answer on face. I think he should have the answer on face for stuff like this.
Yeah. Again, he might be better than C, but
I could definitely see him getting into B tier, especially as we get a bit bigger. Chaos got so much love this set because we now have Krista.
So yeah, we've got Krista's next. So after he's got one more card,
I'll let you just go through this in a second. I've got to go sort this out again.
That's fine. I'll talk through Krista. So yeah, she's 632 Chaos Order. After he's got one more card, put 2 wall counts on it. So we got another wall counters character. Enhance remove 1 wall counter. This attack gains stun 1. And enhance remove 4. Choose 1 player and each displace this card partner to the top of their deck. So again, she doesn't solve her own problem, right? She isn't discarding cards on face to get the wall counters. And that's her only way of getting wall counters on face. So she has to be doing the thing on the cards in her deck. And obviously, if you don't draw them, or if you get them on time, then she does nothing. Because currently, unless you've got cards that are doing the thing, her character is blank. Like, she's never getting the wall counters because she can't discard a card. I wonder if that works with. I wonder if does that work with reviewing? Does reviewing count as discarding? I'm assuming it doesn't. Because I think that's very specifically reviewing a card rather than discarding a card. So yeah, she has to do the thing, but the moment she gets to 4 wall counters, obviously either guaranteeing a check and failing a check is good. Gaining someone is fine. But you're mainly looking to build up a huge stock of wall counters and sort of go in on a turn of, I've got 10 wall counters. I'm going to give 2 attacks, stun 1. I'm going to confirm 2 checks and ruin 2 of yours.
Yeah, I mean, against checks that are going to against a lot of the 2 checks and 1 check decks, that bottom enhance is not dead. And as Corin's saying in chat, reviewing counts as discard.
Yeah, I just asked that. I'm not sure. I don't know whether it's intended to work with reviewing, because I don't know whether reviewing is reviewing and not discarding. And it's when you just effectively discard.
We'd have to check the living rules, but either way, you get.
But again, like Jean, she does not turn her character on face unless reviewing works. If reviewing works, then she can she's going to go up a tier.
She doesn't, but I think she has a lot more support in standard than Jean does. Because Chaos, you've got Titancliff. In Order, you've got Botan's coaching. You've got a lot of ways to discard cards and draw cards than you do within the standard play.
I'm sure, but she also doesn't solve her own problem. And like I say, I'm going to rate her as if reviewing does not work. Okay?
Yeah. But even then, if you look at things
if reviewing works, you can move her up an entire tier.
On Chaos alone, you can use Fearless Frog, you can use Titancliff. Chaos has a lot of discard support. It's a static, so you can even use Petty Squabble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to discard cards, draw cards. You don't get access to latent skill, but there is that new form latent skill, which might be on. It's on Chaos. I think you can still get access to that.
Yeah, there's ways of doing it, right? But again,
you can even face some transformation without momentum, which makes it a lot better.
So, just a brief apology. You have to accept me eating mint imperials for Captain trying to quit smoking.
How's it going?
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah, that's fine. I have to keep disappearing because Robin decided to go on a little mini vacation to see some friends in London, and Flynn is pushing boundaries because he's off school. It's made it very hard to record as well.
No, that's all good.
I think Krista is definitely a solid C tier. I think.
Yeah, I think C. Like, I think she's fine, but really has to build up that head of steam until she does nothing.
No disrespect to the Queen, but she just isn't good enough on face. If we put Jean in discard, if we put Jean in discard in C because he doesn't solve his problems on face, then we put Krista in the same. Yeah. So once you've downloaded it, Ozzy, if you go to the Universus little app. If you go to the Universus section on the app, you can then go through a little Hercules versus Monkey King sort of demo, and it'll give you the basics on how to play the game. And then if you check on play.uvs, you can then find a local store which should be running demos because the new Attack on Titan demo kits are out. And we can, if you need any help, hit me up on Discord, drop me a message on Twitch, find out a way to get in touch with it, and I'll help you find a way to learn this game.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you obviously got that Diced app, so you can have a look. The other thing to do, like I say, would be to join our Discord. Obviously, the link should be on the channel, and just ask around in there, and there'll be plenty of people that'll be more than happy.
There should be a little panel underneath the stream if they're watching on PC. If they're not, I can just quickly also grab one.
I'll do it.
Oh, you can do it, yeah, because it covers your face. Yeah.
There we go. There's the link to our Discord. Feel free to join in and ask around in there, and people will be more than happy to help.
I mean, the benefit of playing this game is you get to be part of one of the best gaming communities in TCGs. It's a very fun, competitive game. It's got some really cool people. I lied. It's discard. I've been lied to. Okay.
So, are you saying that? Are you saying reviewing does work, Bale?
I lied. It is discard. We'll check with Murray and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously, the benefits of learning this game is it's great socializing. There are very cool events with very cool prizing. And if you do well at Nationals, you get taken out to Florida to take part in Worlds where you can have, if you win Worlds, you get a character of yourself made and put into the game, which is very, very cool. The rule manual says discard. There we go. So I think...
Yeah, it does. It says discard, but...
I'm just gonna
discarding a thing, and
I'm just gonna put her up to B if that's what the rules say until the FAQ comes out because she has a solution on face.
Yeah, I'm still actually not overly excited with what she actually does.
But I think I don't think she belongs in C if she's basically generating 2 wall counters a turn.
Possibly, but yeah, I mean, you can leave her sort of top of C, bottom B. So yeah, Levi Ackerman from Survey Corps, 628 health. That used to seem like so much. Your charge and weapon attacks get +1 speed, +1 damage. That's a static, always happens. Commit, add 1 weapon card from your card pool to your hand. He's a 7 aggressive.
Huh?
He do be aggressive.
He's also defensive. How many foundations and stuff have weapon on them?
That is true. You can pick up, effect. He sort of almost has struggling with studies to an extent, right?
Yep.
But static +1/+1 is just good, right? I mean, he's keyword locked, but that's fine. Air and Death have a lot of good charge weapons.
Air has amazing charges, such as Double Jab Pummel. And Death has amazing weapons such as Deception Dagger. Because who doesn't want to go Deception Dagger, stun 2, remove a card from your discard, play an attack, pick up Deception Dagger, play it on a 6?
No. You go, I'll play a Deception Dagger, I'll stun 2, I'll remove a thing, you mess around with the speed, cool, I'll commit, I'll lift this Deception Dagger, and I'll play it again. So
Frogstomp absolutely loves this. Yeah, Frogstomps can do some crazy stuff as well.
I think Levi's going to be solid. He's not exciting, but it has that little baby Ojiro 2 vibes, right? Ojiro 2 sort of did a lot of stats and just lifted a thing, right? That's all he did.
Yeah.
But he was, one of the most broken characters in the history of the game. My hero area.
Yeah. This could also be a sneaky free 2-diff deck, which lets you.
Yeah, just you want to play as many of those sort of, and I think Levi is going to be one of those characters that does that or tries that ability of I'm playing all these 3 and 2 diffs because I'm in. The more attacks you play, the more benefit you're getting out of your static, right?
So say we get a good backup. Say we get a good backup. That's a 6 check. We then get to go as Levi. Play my backup. Play Measured Violence. Build in my backup because it's a 6 check. If this hits, my next one gets 2/2. Play another low diff attack. Pick up Measured Violence. Play another backup. Play Measured Violence. Build in my backup because that's some dumb stuff that you get to do with Measured Violence. I now need to make a video on building in backups with Measured Violence. That's a cool combo.
My gut says he's probably in the A, and obviously we both our A characters are the 3-diff tribal one because
I don't think he is 3-diff tribal, but I think he plays 3-diff tribal.
Or has an option for 3-diff tribal, right?
Yeah, it's common, but we all love Magical Christmas Land. It's the fact of how many good weapons there are.
And cheating progressive once per turn is good.
And having access to all of Toga's kit through Def.
Mm-hmm.
If you build this on Def with air support, you're just sitting pretty.
It's funny. Obviously, he says charge and a weapon, but then commit add a weapon card. So he's really a weapon character, right?
Yeah, but Air has got a lot of cards that clear progressive on damage. You've got Levi's attack, which makes them pick up. I think it's a 6-diff that makes them pick up a foundation, and then you get +1 damage for every card in their hand. I
just think you could ignore the word charge there, and he's just a weapon character.
I don't know. I mean, charge is still very cool. And do you know what has charge and is on air?
I know Double Jab Paddle does.
Falling Skies.
That is true. And that's fine as like you basically can't play a charge only package, right?
You 100% can.
No, because you're turning off his bottom enhance, and you don't want to do that.
So you play a lot of charges that you draw cards, and then you just keep picking up Walk the Dog.
Walk the Dog has a weapon, right?
Yeah, Walk the Dog is a weapon range.
And that's fine. You're not playing a charge only package. You have weapons in. Right? There has to be a way of him picking up a weapon card as an attack, right?
Yeah. But there are charge weapons, and I mean, Walk the Dog is just nuts.
I'm just saying you can't play a charge. You have to have weapons. That's what I was saying. But anyway,
there's no point turning this 7-hander into a 6-hander by not playing weapons. It's just you can go, the only weapon I'm playing is Walk the Dog. Everything else in here is a high attack. For Falling Skies. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, whether he does that thing better than, say, a Chaco or Toga or something like that remains to be seen, but he's solid.
I mean, if you need to kill someone quickly, Chaco is probably good to go. If you need to delay it out a little bit because of these high health attacks, Levi could be a more solid way because unlike Ochako, you don't need to flip foundations, and with Ruin, flipping foundations is very dangerous at the minute.
It is, but it isn't when they're dead on 2, which is sort of what Chaco's trying to do. I think Levi's solid. I mean, he might be a B. I don't think he goes above an A. So you've got Marco. Yep. Marco Bott.
I know some people are very hyped for Marco.
Yeah, so he's 723. He's got Death and Air again. So you sacrifice the foundation, your attack gets +2 speed and +1 damage. So again, that's a good return on investment. Like just one foundation for +2/+1 is good. Obviously, offensive only, nothing on defense. And then enhanced commit. if you sacrifice 2 or more foundations this turn, destroy 1 rival. So you're sort of almost playing this foundation destruction game, but you're, the point and click, commit, point and click, blow up your best thing is a very powerful ability, and his sacrifice 1 +2/+1 is a powerful rate. I don't know how I feel about him.
I think he plays Mirko and Karasu stuff very well. Having access to death and things like Enormous Axe and a lot of the foundation destruction and cards that care about foundations being destroyed from Karasu and Mirko is very
cool.
I
mean, you can just play a trace size, echo it, blow up a second one, give it +2/+1, commit, destroy one of yours.
And you get to that. Although you can't sacrifice, being up against someone like Reiner or someone who's doing a lot of ruin, you just get to commit and destroy it, and destroy one of theirs as well.
Yeah. And it being a point and click destruction is obviously powerful.
However, on Death he has the 5 Batax loop. You mean the Enormous Axe? He's very, very powerful with that destruction on Death. That is 100%.
Yeah, it's just like obviously once you commit him to do the thing, you can't. You're just blank at that point.
Yes. Oh, you're talking Levi? Yeah. Levi's nuts. Marco, I think he's very cute. I think he's very cool. I don't like the idea as a 7-hander getting rid of my resources for just 1 damage. Is it 1 damage? Yeah.
Yes, but it's +2/+1. It's 3 stats. It's solid.
But with how much destruction is in this set with things like Chomp and Ruin, you could end up in a situation where you have no foundations.
Yeah.
I do like the idea, however, of building to 13, getting to do a Genkai's on their first attack, and then on their second attack, immediately destroying their best foundation.
Yeah. I mean, probably B. I think he's fine.
I would have probably put him into C, but D's fine.
No, sorry, B. Not D.
Oh. No, I would put him in C, but B's probably fine. I think my accent's messed up.
I think the point and click is very powerful, and I think +2/+1 is a good rate. But I guess if you're not doing the thing, but you're a 7-hander, so you should be able to rebuild, and you're just constantly taking your opponent off their best foundations, I think that's just a solid ability to have. Again, he might be overrated. He might be a C, but again, I think
so. Then we have another very hyped character, Mikasa Ackerman. You discard 1 card after you play an attack. After you play an attack, clear 1 card from your card pool. This attack gets +1 speed for each time you play this ability this turn. Commit 1 foundation. Your attack gets +1 damage.
After your attack, get deal damage, draw 1 card.
Yeah.
So it's sort of fueling, right? You're trying to kind of get into this. Okay, they don't block 1. I draw a card, and I then get into the loop of clear, hit, draw, discard, clear, hit, draw, discard, and you're trying to play a whole bunch of attacks on non-progressive and just cycle through that way.
It didn't need to share symbols with Luna Tajirs.
You do need to draw attacks though.
You just run throws.
I mean, you need to draw attacks.
Yeah, but you're drawing an attack on every hit.
No, you're drawing a card.
That's what I mean.
You're drawing a card. You're not drawing an attack. You're drawing a potential foundation, right?
Which you then get to discard to clear a card.
Yes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's fine. But you need to actually have a string of attacks. You need to be playing 4 or 5 attacks for her to do a thing, right? Or else,
you've seen her symbols, right? She has so much filtering on face. She has too much filtering in her kit.
Again, I'm not saying this is like Impossible Magical Christmas Land, but she does need to, like, if you aren't playing 4, 5, or 6 attacks in one turn, then what are you doing? Like, what is she doing for you? She effectively gets the response, deal damage, draw a card, which is fine. So you're not playing on progressive, but in order to fuel that not playing on progressive, you sort of are, you're having to commit a foundation every time.
I think she is the sole reason that St. Louis Smashers have been flying out of Card Goblin during regionals. I think she 100% is going to be an absolute pain, and if you can play cards that have draw power on face, on air as well, you're going to be fine. I think she is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with, especially when we've got things like latent skill back in. I honestly think she is possibly the only non-Titan S tier.
I don't think that.
She's a 7-hander that needs to see, like you said, 5, 6 attacks. She can do that.
Yeah. I'd say A. I don't think she's quite S.
She 100% belongs in S.
Okay. I will go with you on this one.
I'll tell you what. I'll put it as a poll and see what. And we'll leave this one up to chat. Because I put the other tiers in as well, because you never know where she should actually end up.
No, it's between you're saying as I say A. Let the
fine. I'll put B tier in as well, and we'll let it run for 3 minutes. There you go, chat. There's now a poll up in there. You can choose where Mikasa goes. I think Mikasa should end up in S. However, it looks like a lot of chat is agreeing with you here, which makes me sad. But while we're doing that, we'll move on to this bellend. God, I hate Reiner.
So he's a 634, so chunky boy, death, chaos. This attack gets plus or minus 1 damage. You may sacrifice foundation.
I'm trying to find him in the Evergreen.
If you do, it gets plus 2 or minus 2 instead. And then response once per turn. After you sacrifice 1 more foundation, build one of them face down and committed. Then, if a player has 9 more foundations, transform Reiner Braun.
Yes, into the Armored Titan. Who on transform makes you flip 4. Has a very nasty enhance of your attack gets plus 2 damage. You may commit sacrifice 1 foundation if you do ruin 1, and then has essentially broken psyche on face with commit, spend 1 momentum. This attack damage goes to 1.
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest issue I have with this is?
What?
Armored Titan's enhance is not limited to his turn.
Mm-hmm.
You play an attack, he commits a foundation, you get rid of a face down. You play the next attack, he destroys that committed foundation, you get rid of a face down.
Yeah. I think Reiner's quite good.
Reiner's nuts.
Just, if nothing else, plus 1 or minus 1 damage for free on everything is good.
Yeah.
Right? Just the minus 1, it adds up a lot.
If you blow up enormous axe after playing the Kirishima Fury, you can net yourself 2 foundations and then 1 committed from Reiner.
Yeah, or like you've got a committed face down. You just blow it up and it comes back in. Committed face down. You've lost nothing. Shooting
Kirishima is a great one as well because you just get to keep flipping. I know Connor, the guy that comes down to play sometimes, has been working on this list because he's primarily who I've played against for a while. I personally will be running a Reiner Decay Awakening deck because I hate fun.
And just having the Im flip and then they flip 4 is a very powerful effect. You know, quite often you don't have a huge amount of stuff to flip at that point.
Yeah, Karen is an absolute pain.
And then just everything gets plus 2 damage, and then you can commit and you ruin everything.
He gets a lot better after rotation, but with internship with Best Genist, with all the Bakugo 2 stuff, which lets you keep flipping, he can get you down to 0 foundations quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'll be running Decay Awakening, because I can go, let's go. I'll blow up all foundations on the stage, and now my entire goal here is to flip and keep your board dead. There you go. Enormous Axe, Weapons Clash, Titan emerges. Reiner is a mistake. Reiner is 100% a mistake, and people are already calling for him to be day 1 errated. I think mainly the Armored Titan needs to be your turn. I think
maybe.
I think it needs to be your attack, because that top enhance is just too good to be able to.
He should read this attack, so you can do an opponent's turn, but you're giving their attack plus 2 damage.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, if I'm going to take some damage here, but I get to keep off. That could also work basically to make it a bit more negative, but it's so powerful. Reiner himself being able to keep himself alive by, like I said, -1ing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I do think if we do see a rise of the Reiner meta, Bakugo 4 might make a bit of a resurgence, because giving him -1 to all his attacks kind of just gets to let him go, haha, let's go.
But yeah, he looks very good, and obviously you've done testing with him, so I'm absolutely willing to buy that he goes into S.
He 100% goes to S. That was never going to be up for discussion. He 100% has to go in S. I played at least 6 games with it. I played him once and felt no pressure from my opponent when I was playing him. The only deck I beat Reiner with was Godzilla, and that's because essentially I got a City Rampage and checked 5s on like turn 3. Without that, I was in some serious trouble. Show me the results of the poll. A tier. Ooh.
Obviously.
Let's go. Fine. Down you go, Mikasa. I tried. If people in the comments are upset, I tried. I know people.
They're the ones that voted for A, so you know. But yeah,
Card Goblin, I tried. There we go. So we got Andrew in talking about. We got Cluster Bomb, Decay Awakening, Bakugo 2 stuff. Yeah, all the Bakugo stuff just makes Reiner a massive issue to deal with. After rotation, I think he becomes a lot easier. I think if we were being forced to play Spotlight, he's not as big of an issue. But because he has access to all Bakugo stuff and still has access to Chomp, that's nuts. I definitely think that someone on the design team had a special place in their heart for these 2 very traumatized boys.
Yeah, so our next is Sasha. Air and Life, 723. Enhanced, discard a card, gain a health, your attack is +3 damage. Response, after you clear 1 more card to your card pool, add 1 asset or foundation printed difficulty 1 from your discard pile to your hand. I'm off it.
She's an S tier in my heart because she gets to play Potato so well.
I know, but she's a D.
She doesn't get to combo with Potato when you build it in with the combo Potato. The fact that we also have a card that says combo Potato is so cool to me.
I know, this is not good. Like, discarding a card for 1 health and 3 damage just isn't a good rate that I want to be doing. Sometimes it's going to be good, sure, but not often. Like, it's not something I particularly care about having on face.
I mean, if it's my opponent's turn and it's a card I want rid of, yeah, sure. Like, if I draw a handful of grey and my opponent's going, I've got 4 mid blocks, yeah, I'll discard one to get a help, let's go.
Yeah, again, but like it's a niche ability for a niche application for that ability.
It makes any means necessary a lot more playable. I haven't got the heart to put her in D where she does belong, but I'm going to put her in C.
Okay.
Because it's Sasha.
You know, the clearing thing, you get to pick up a 1 diff into your hand. It's not like you can get to build it and you have to clear, which isn't the easiest thing. I'm
The reason you don't get to build it is because you get to play the potato and then combo potato to build it in and gain more health.
I'm off it. Smiling Titan.
Apple's just sent me a video. I imagine it's going to be... It's Ymir next, isn't it? Have I got it wrong?
No, it's fine time.
Apple's sent me a video of a 5 attack turn 2. Yeah, that's probably right for Mikasa. Smiling Titan.
Enhanced Tenacious, your attack gets plus X speed and plus X damage. X equals your attack's printed difficulty -4.
Yep.
Response once per turn. After attack, deal 6 or more damage. Ready this character.
She likes to play the big... Well, they like to play the big attacks.
Yeah. And... wants to play the big thing. So, you play a 7, it gets 3/3. And when it has to deal 6 damage to ready Smiling Titan in order to get effectively an extra resource towards it. And that's it.
I mean, I'd happily play the 11-8 for... That's an 8 diff in this one. Smiling Titan is not a string-out card. This is a poke and pass card. This is a, do you have the block zone in hand that I'm throwing? And
or just any sort of reset, right? Like a single reset ruins Smile. And again, part of my beef with the big things, any sort of reset or yeet just ruins their life. I
mean, if I'm throwing a 10-8, the reset does not scare me. Barrier Shield scares me. But
when I say a reset, I mean something that sets it to 0, like a broken psyche, a barrier shield, that sort of thing.
To me, those are modifications. A reset is what puts it back to because
I know. But I'm not a believer in the big boons.
I mean, again, it shares symbols with Lunar Tajirs, which is always going to be fun because that gives it +2/+2. But that's not great. I think Smiling Titan's cute. I think Smiling Titan's going to be a lot more powerful in sealed than a lot of others.
Yeah, probably, maybe. I mean, I think if you want to do the big booms, Beast Titan's probably where it's at.
I know Patrick Toombs has been playing Smiling and has done some serious damage to David. But to me, I'm kind of along with that. As Apple, it's an aggressive Nomu. Smiling is probably a very aggressive Nomu. Without the defense.
It's a very terrible Nomu. I'm off it. Ymir.
Ymir, Yafar, Ymir, where you are.
723 life fire, enhanced loser health, attack gets +2 damage. Form, once per turn, build 1 foundation from your card pool. Then if a player has 9 or more foundations, transform into the Jaw Titan, so your attack gets +2 speed as a static. Very good.
Yep.
Enhance your attack, gain a health, your attack gets +X damage. X equals the number of time you've gained health this turn.
Yep.
And then enhance commit, this attack is -3 speed.
And that's a life. And life has a lot of ways to... that's just insane.
I like Ymir. So losing health +2 damage is a reasonable rate. I lose 1 for you lose 2, conceivably. Or even if maybe you're doing throws, I lose 1, so you guaranteed lose 1, is a reasonable rate. Maybe not so much on a 7-hander. Form, building a foundation from your card pool is really good. Just she has anti-breaker on face, right?
Yes.
So it's I play my attack, you break a block me, sure, build a foundation, form, build it down, carry on.
Yeah, she's very, very cool that way. As Rostos was said, I was going to get that in there. Immortal Shapeshifter goes so hard here. So does Rune Restore. Then you've also got Nedre, Channel the Big 3, that says if you block this attack, I'll gain a health. And basically, she just gets... when she turns into the Jaw Titan, she just gets to go, let's go. Block me, I'll get bigger. Don't block me, you'll get smaller. It is so very cool to see. And even when she's in the Ymir form, lose 1 health when things like Excited for Blood are still around. You've got the Shoji foundations that basically, if you've lost health, this attack gets extra damage.
I mean, the sort of, I guess the joke here is she burns herself down and then she flips and then gains health back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the sort of joke here. But this is certainly one of those characters where I want to power into the Jaw Titan as soon as I can, right?
Yeah,
because a static +2 speed and then gaining some damage. And there is stuff on Life and Fire where you can. So you've got the what's the bloody hell his
on Life?
You got Hiei's kit on Fire, so you can say I will do the lose 1 health for +1 speed, and then I'll gain 1 health for +1 damage.
It's
right?
all about the Life kit because you get Momo Freeze kit with the attacks that you build in from discard by getting rid of a foundation. You get access to new training method. You get access to a lot of additional builds.
Life obviously lets you power to 9. The issue with Life is you want to have ways of losing health, because once you're at cap, I suppose you're sort of winning anyway, so you don't necessarily need to win more with the thing. But obviously then you've got no way of gaining health, so you don't do extra damage.
So you can play Final Spirit Gun, lose 3 health, gets 5 damage, then heal it back up. You can.
Yeah, see, I think whatever symbol you're playing on, you want some ways of maybe losing some health, so you can kind of do that.
As Rostos said, you get access to things like dual needle lunge, excited for blood, which you lose health. You gain health gain through things like spiral blast. You get on Life. You still get rejuvenating smash, which just goes, I'll gain 2, and that's additional damage.
Yeah. But I like what Ymir's got going on. I think she's an A and could be an A.
I think Ymir is absolutely solid, and I think her attack, the jaw titan attacks, is so cool because it just lets you just stop health gain. She is the counter to herself.
But I like Ymir. I think she's an A.
Yeah, I think she's absolutely solid. After looking at Ymir, I think, in all honesty, I just take my Elder Toguro list, which was super annoying to deal with, and I slap Ymir on there, and I go, this is even more annoying to deal with because I can just keep gaining health. Because you play a lot of effects that you burn for effects, and you just get to heal it immediately back.
Mm-hmm. So now we look at our challenger ones.
Ah, yes, I forgot those guys were up there.
So we have got Eren Yeager, Promising Scout.
Let's start with the Clash, because, the Clash are still characters.
Okay.
So we have Mikasa Ackerman, Talented Recruit, 6-hander, 15 health, your attack gets +4 speed.
Mm-hmm. And Levi Ackerman, Strong Soldier, Commit, your attack gets +4 speed, 6-15.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be 4 damage, but yeah.
Oh, maybe. They can both go into D. I don't know why the fuck they printed these Clash decks for 15 health.
Because I think they're just an extension on the demo decks.
I get that. But the whole point, I thought the demo decks have 15 is because the game ends quickly, right? You don't really want that with a Clash deck. You want them to be playable. I think with the Clash decks, people should be able to turn up to a locals and play with them.
I think that's shots fired by Corin there, saying they'd still play these over the Bearded Titan.
I mean, I wouldn't, but sure.
I'm not even going to acknowledge Apple's statement, though.
But they're both D. I just think it's a mistake printing. He was only 15 health. It means people are going to have a terrible experience with the Clash decks. You don't want that.
You shouldn't really be rocking up to locals with a Clash deck anyway.
You are if you're a new player, right? I'm a new player. I'm just learning this game. I want to get into it. I can buy my Clash deck for 12 quid and play at locals, or however much they cost. And I know I'm playing an underpowered Clash deck, but I should be able to play a game. Yeah. I'm going to get beaten down because my opponents have better cards and they know the game better, but I should be able to engage with the game.
It could definitely hurt onboarding if you rock up with a 6-hander 15 health and
the 15 health character doesn't do that, right?
Yeah, and your opponent's playing a 7-hander with more health and more abilities than you.
Yeah.
We all know you're waiting on the Jin, and even if it's a 15 health character, you're still going to be playing it at regionals. We all know.
I don't know what they were thinking. I think it's a terrible idea making this 15 health, but yeah, they're both below a D. They're not even remotely for
So then we have Eren Yeager, Promising Scout, 6-hander, 32 health. Your turn, flip a foundation. This attack gets +1 speed, +1 damage. Form, if you have 8 or more foundations, flip Eren Yeager, Promising Scout. This feels... the main set, this feels more watered down. You don't really gain anything for that form. You just get to flip. And there are characters that are doing more than that in the main set for that, like, enhance.
Yeah.
As cool as he is...
And then when he flips, he draws 2, sacrifice face down, +3/+3. So...
The fact it has to be face down kind of does help with the...
This has kind of got that Fat Gun vibes, right?
Yeah.
You are trying to survive until you've got 8 face down foundations, and you've chipped them a bit, and then you form, and as your first form, flip, kill them.
I just realised. This is one of the only flip cards that doesn't say if a player has 8, you need to have 8.
Yeah, and it's face down, right? You need to get to 8 face downs yourself. It ignores the other player.
In a ruin, when they say so many things say ruin on them. I don't. That's really bad.
And it's like it's a bad spike on face, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but
Reiner looks at this and laughs because once he transforms, you just don't get to play this game.
Sure, but the idea being is that you transform and they're dead that turn because sacrificing a face down for +3/+3 is an incredible rate.
Yeah.
I think it is a C. I don't think he's great, but it's a cool thing of just like you power flip your stage, get into 8, power flip your stage, and then go, okay, my stage is blank, but everything sacrifices +3/+3.
Controversially, I want to split them. I want to put Eren Yeager in D, but the Attack Titan in C.
No, they're a package. There's a package C. They're not. It's not terrible, but yeah, it's a C.
I would much more happily be playing the Attack Titan than Eren. Like I said, getting to 8 face downs for the flip is just such a hard ask.
Yeah, but once you do, and if you get to flip, you can you're going to kill most characters, right? Sack a foundation +3/+3.
As long as you're checking 5s, of course.
But again, you've got at least 8 foundations, right? You've just drawn 8 cards. If you can't kill them with +3/+3 and everything, when sacrificing your committed face downs +3/+3, I don't know what you're doing.
And then we have Armin Arlert, Scared Strategist. Discard 1 card. Flip 1 foundation. If you did, this attack gets +2 damage. And enhance, add 1 foundation from your stage to your hand. This attack gets +2 speed.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Armin. I'm not excited.
I mean it's a 2/2 on face.
Yeah, so you basically say, I will commit my foundation to pass my check. I'll then add it to my hand for +2 speed. I'll then discard that for +2 damage, right? So you're debuilding yourself 1 for +2/+2.
I like the idea of being able to Botans every single turn.
What do you mean?
I flip Botans, we both discard, both draw. I pick up Botans with Armin, I play Botans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like fine. Like, you mean, sure, you can add it to your hand to just sort of replay everything. Botan's probably one of the least exciting ones to do.
Yeah, but it was just an example of utility you can do. On air, you get access to new training method. If your opponent's
I don't know, I think he's a C as well. I don't know, I'm not...
Lightning Rod on air gives you access to 2 face downs, which then lets you pick one up because it's going to disappear.
Yeah.
If your opponent flips one of your foundations and has a ruin effect on their face or in their foundations, you get to pick it up and save it from being destroyed.
Lightning Rod's going to be good in him.
Having deadlock answers on...
you can't play Lightning Rod in him.
You can, it's air.
No, he's got the air attuned symbol, not the air symbol, so he can't play air cards.
Yes, it can. It's an air attuned resource symbol.
Yeah, it's obviously a misprint of some sort, I'm assuming. But yeah, Lightning Rod's be good.
Training method had air. Am I losing my mind?
No, of course it doesn't. Why would Deku 2 have air?
He's Life Good Earth, yeah.
Yeah, Life Good Earth. I'm
losing my mind.
Yeah, I think it's a C. I don't think he's great. I think he's fine.
I think he's definitely at least a B.
Nah, it's just... Yeah, I don't know. I can see maybe low B.
Being able to just pick up foundations, always having a block. If you're running low block modifiers, always having that block is very strong. Yeah. It's not once per turn, so you can literally just sit there building out and picking stuff up.
Sure. It also does say this attack, right? So if you're adding foundation to your stage, you are giving them +2 speed.
Yeah.
So sculpting perfect blocks is fine, but you are giving them +2 speed if you do that.
You're on air and order. You have ways to manipulate speed yourself.
But there is a cost involved. I don't know. I'm just not buying it with Armin. I can say I can have low B.
Well, B, it sounds good. He's definitely deserves to be in there. Just because if he high rolls, he just get to kill.
Yeah.
We did have the 13 SRs lined up as well, but it is 11 o'clock.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters in this set, so we can do that as a separate one.
And we had long discussions about the Beast Titan and the Big Titan.
The only one the only one character, I guess, the one I'm least sure of on my rating, right? I'm not sure on any of them, to be honest, is the main set Armin. I think main set Armin has probably the most scope for being different than a B, or differently rated what he actually is. And I think that is more likely to have a higher ceiling than he has a lower floor. Just because that look at the top card of the deck is cheating.
I did say main set Armin should be a lot higher. I think main set Armin should be a, and I think Mikasa should be an S. That's what I would put them.
No, I think I would move main set Armin into A and then leave it as there. We just have our 2 S tier characters and then the rest in A's. I think I'd be happy with that as a list. And that'd be interesting to see how that compares to how everyone else thinks about it.
Yeah, so we didn't actually look at anyone else's tier list. It'd be interesting to go back now and look at Chris's and David's and other people's. I think that's a solid list. I think it's fairly. Yeah. I think we might get a bit of hate for having Connie so high up, but I am also very high on Connie. I think Connie is an absolute dark horse with all these.
Yeah, I'm nervous about the 3/2 diff tribal because it can get problematic pretty quickly, I think. But
as a Storm of Blades player, you know how quickly these
No, it's nothing to do with this, because that's 3 damage, right? It's
how easily you can string out with those kind of attacks,
right?
I just played a retro deck where I was running majority of 2s and 3s checks, 2s and 3 costs. Yes, it was reversal, but it was still strange to see how far I could string out and just not have to commit anything because I was checking a 3, then a 4, then a 4, then a 5, and it's like, oh, cool, I played 4 attacks and I haven't had to commit a single thing.
Exactly. And as long as you're making them come in for like 4, 5, 6 damage through your foundations,
yep,
you're Gucci. I'm happy with that list. And then, we'll look at the SRs to another day.
Yeah, we'll either look at the SRs on Sunday, or I'm going to try and
get pre-release Sunday, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, if you can get pre-release. If not, if Richard isn't available, or if I'll try and get my friend Megan to come on, because they went to Gen Con and got to have. They went to Gen Con last year and they went to Gen Con this year, and with all the changes to the demos and the way that UVS is interacting with the community, I thought it'd be cool to speak with them and actually try and find out, as a non-player, sort of like outsider looking in, what their experiences with UVS has been.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. I think that's something people would tune into. Richard did not send me a game of the week.
I didn't, because I forgot about it, but it was... before we sign off with the game of the week, obviously thanks to everyone in chat for watching along on our Terrible Takes tier list. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, then obviously do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Really helps.
Really does.
Obviously, we know you'll be watching this one because it's a tier list. They get the numbers. So do all the things. It really helps us. And obviously, come and join us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UKversus next time we are casting. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.
Do also jump into our Discord. It's a lot more active than it used to be. We've got a lot of people chatting about pre-releases and just about the game in general. And it's a great way for you to interact with at least me directly. Richard does show up sometimes as well.
Exactly. And if you want to, got any questions about the game, you want to try and find a local play group in the UK or wherever, then, there'll be plenty of people to help.
Exactly.
But yes, so Darwin's Journey was the game of the week. I played it 3 times over the last couple of days because I went down to Focus on Sunday, played it twice there, then played it again last night. So pretty crunchy worker placement Euro. I'm a big fan of the game. It just gets the neurons flowing in the correct way for me, and I enjoy what it does. It's very sort of combo-rific, so you're trying to sort of take an action which triggers this thing, which then triggers this other thing, and you get max value out of doing one action. Essentially, you're just trying to go out, do Darwin stuff, research the stuff on Galapagos Islands, send your research back to the UK or, back to the mainland, and do various other things on the board. It's a lot of fun. It's a very beautiful game, standard sort of Kickstarter Chrome. Does have a little bit of a weakness in that there is arguably a sort of first player problem, where the first player can often get quite a big advantage and there isn't really a sort of balancing mechanic. That's the one. Quite often in games like this, like, second, third, fourth players in the turn order might get like extra money or extra stuff. This one there isn't really. There is a little kind of catch-up mechanic, but not much, and I think probably not enough. But yeah, a game I really, really enjoy. And certainly one worth checking out if you can, if that sounds like your jam. Just like I say, a crunchy Euro, but just be aware there is that kind of first player thing. And so it does have weaknesses, or else, without that, I think it would be one of my favourite games. With that, it kind of takes it down the pecking list a bit, but it's something I, very much enjoy, just kind of going through those sorts of motions of the game it does. So, yeah, worth checking out.
Fair enough. Well, thanks, Richard. It seems like a really cool game. I'm glad I was able to find it. Do check us out. We'll try and get back on Sunday, and if you're pre-releasing, best of luck. Catch you all in a bit.
Yeah. Toodaloo.